Welcome on into the 411 podcast. It is freestyle session tonight. It's been a minute since we've done a freestyle session. As a reminder, if you are out there and you'd like to speak to me, you can text me at 609-738-0611 and I can pull you up on the 411 hotline. I saw Mr. Charlie Pockets out there on Instagram. Thank you for joining in. And we're going to get right on into the song of the day. So we got enough day. Miss Doja Cat. I like the song Say So. I listened to the song for a long time before I even know who it was. Because I thought that Doja Cat just was a rapper. I didn't know she sang the way she did too. So happy birthday, Doja Cat. Song of the day, Say So. Off of the Hot Pink album released in 2019. So last night we had Anjoli come through, and she has a business called Anjoli Soul Sense, all the way from Newark, New Jersey. I want to say what's up to fellow New Jerseyan. Go ahead and watch that replay. Also, Mr. Alex Coquito from Puerto Rico. Tomorrow, I need you to tune in on his YouTube channel, Alex Coquito. He has a show called Midnight Vibes. Tomorrow we got a very special show on his YouTube platform. Midnight Vibes is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to say what's up to Frederick Fair. He has a clothing company, Ashiro Clothing. Also, author P.L. Stewart. He had a session on Reading Between the Lines. Go ahead and watch that replay as well. Ro Wang from South Korea. I appreciate you. Jason T. Davis all the way from California. Joanna Smith. Farrell Higginbotham from Trenton, New Jersey. Dr. Stephen Bond. That was a great Reading Between the Wines session. You want to watch that replay as well. It was a real one. It really was. And I saw Charlie Pockets out there on Instagram and Mr. Ian West. I want to say thank you to everybody out there who has supported the 4-1 and Reading Between the Wines. We have been going strong. And of course, I couldn't do it without you. So we're going to get this thing started, this freestyle session. And go ahead and rewind this thing. We spoke about anger last night. This is a topic that I've been speaking about for a while. You know, once you've done something in the past and you turn something around, I have no idea how it happened. I'm thankful that it happened, but I have an obligation to continue to share and continue to maybe give somebody else some inspiration so that they can break through. So how long does anger exist in your world? Most people that I spoke to, I saw Danny Lopez from Belgium. He said like maybe 10 minutes. A couple people said only a few. And then they learn how to go ahead and flip that thing around and turn it around, which is what you want to do. We are all human. I'm not going to say that nobody, won't experience anger again after deciding to turn their life around and get it together is what I call it. But what is your story? How long does anger exist in your world? I get it together real quick. I shared with you yesterday. I get it together real quick because I realized that when you hold anger, when you have fear, when you hold grudges,
when you have resentment towards other people. It's the 3 Ds that come into play. Let's make sure I get these right. You got discomfort, or you got discord within self. So because somebody else is doing something to you, because you hold anger, because you have fear, because you have doubt, because you have whatever against the situation. All of those things are not of God, by the way. While you have all of that in you, you are putting discomfort and discord within self. So think about that. Something from outside of you that has nothing to do with you. A situation that you can't control because you're mad about it, because you have anger, because you might be afraid of it. That's going to cause discord and discomfort within self. It doesn't make sense to me now that I think about it. And then after that, once you let that fester and continue for a while, it turns into a disease. And then after that continues, then it turns into decay, which ultimately equals death. So when I think about it, be angry about something, or listen to what the good book says and understand and know, be still and know that I'm God and let him handle everything. The 3 Ds, or let him handle everything. I'm at the point today where I'm like, it's all good. I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not going to let anything outside that I can't control take me out. I'm definitely not. And one thing that I remind myself each and every day is that you can't control people. That's the number one thing. And you can't control places. And you definitely can't control materialistic things, because it can be going just like that. And that's just it. So how long do you let anger exist in your world? Now, speaking of not controlling people, places, and things, when less is more. So I'm not sure if you have to this point when you realize that less is more, but I have come to the realization since 2020 that less is more. I was at the point where I was basically giving up everything so that I can have less. And then in the long run, when I started to get it together, I realized, wow, having less gave me the ability to end up having more in so many different ways. So many different ways than I can't even sit here and explain. We can talk about the spiritual when less is more. We can talk about when you have, let go of some materialistic things. And when you start to count things up and when you start to do the math, less is more, because you don't have many things holding you down and you can come and go as you please because less is more. See, a lot of people got it twisted. It's at least the people that I've known coming up and the people that I have become entangled with. A lot of people that I were wrapped up with, they just wanted more. There was a lot of greed. There was a whole lot of give me this, I want this. I see this person with that, I want that. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't that way too. But I started shedding all of those things. And recently, I had to get a reality check when it comes to my world that I'm in today. Less is more. So I had to talk to myself and say, self, I love that. Talk to yourself and say, self, we know what we've been through before in the past. Don't let the circumstance that's presented itself right now in front of you get you all tripped up and have you make a mistake. You know that less is more for you today. So I had to go back and I had to have some conversations and say, you know what? I go ahead and I want to take this back. Take back what I said. We haven't even begun. We didn't press play yet. We didn't start this situation. You know what? I'm comfortable with exactly what I have. Less is more for me today. When you don't have all of that you're carrying, whenever something does show up, you're able to pick it up and you're able to move on because your arms are not full and you're not overloaded with so many different things that you're carrying. Be very careful. I think Erykah Badu has a song called Bag Lady. You can't carry it all. You can't carry it all. Something's bound to drop. Something's bound to fall. And when people see you struggling with all of that stuff that you're carrying, that's not attractive. Not attractive at all. You hustling and working like a dog just to keep up with the Joneses and to make it work. How much fun you really gonna have? How much time you really gonna have? You doing all of this just to get more. But while you got more, you have less time. Think about it. Less is more. What's going on? How are you? Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. This is Freestyle Sessions tonight on the 411 podcast. If you would like to speak to me, you can text me at 609-738-0611. Also, drop it in the comments and let me know where you are calling from. I also want to give a very special thank you to Twitter. I appreciate the love and support that has been coming from that area. Thank you so much. Miss Nisi, it took me a minute. So, there's so many people that I've met here on a 411. Sometimes if I haven't seen you in a while, it's not fresh on the dome. So I was looking at the name. I'm like, who is that? Very familiar. Miss Nisi. I believe you're from Georgia. And of course, if I got this right, I know your mom is. She is the author of Perfidious Agenda. Let me know if I'm speaking the truth or not. Miss Lachelle Williams. All the way from the ATL. I haven't spoken to her in a bit. All right. Yes. So I also spoke about this week. I'm just going to do a quick recap of the things that we have spoken about this week. When people do you wrong, a lot of times we get upset because the person has done something to us. And that ain't nothing but the ego. Just to tell you a little bit about that, which I've learned recently this year. I've heard ego this, ego that. Beyonce got a song, Ego. I just heard it. I didn't really dig and put too much time or effort into realizing what the hell the ego is. But I realized that when you walk around saying this person has hurt me, this person has done this to me, why are they treating me this way? That ain't nothing but the ego, and it ain't nothing but power. One of my friends used to always tell me, it ain't nothing but power, Laren. It ain't nothing but power. And I always used to be like, what is this woman talking about, power? That's someone's ego trying to step in and take over, because that's what it does. It wants to dominate. It wants to control. It wants to have power. So when you sit here and say, I feel a certain way because somebody did something to me, you feel like you're losing some power. So it's an ego trip. It's a power trip. I'm sure you've heard that before. But when you can get past that, and when you can realize that people aren't doing anything to you, if anything, you're doing it to yourself. I put a post out here earlier this week. Forces from the outside can only hurt you when you allow them to get into your personal space. So when you feeling hurt up, when you feel in a certain way, that's because you allowed somebody to enter into your personal space. Not today. Absolutely not. And when you start to feel that little sting, you start to feel that little burn, yeah, you've allowed somebody to get just a little bit too close. Because people should be able to come and go as they please, because we just spoke about how you can't control people, places, and things. So if somebody wants to get up and remove themselves from the situation, it should be all mutual feelings. It should be all like, okay, cool, boom, done. I can't hold you. You are your own free spirited person to do exactly what you want to do. But most of us don't think like that. And it's so easier said than done. I get it. Trust and believe. I've been there just this year. And I had to have a reality check too. Laren, remember, we've been through this before. You can't control people. Okay. But when you get past, they did this to me, why, all of that stuff, and you can realize that if somebody is doing something that might be with bad intentions, somebody might be doing something, as you want to call it, evil. Is it the person or is it the spirit that's controlling them? The spirit that's behind them. So they didn't cheat on you. And if you want to take it deep, they didn't lie to you. The spirit within that person has made them do those things. Because in the beginning, it was all love, right? We can go even deeper. It was love at first sight. Can't get you out my mind. All of those things. It was all of that in the beginning. You think about how could people be so wrapped up and so in love in the beginning and then all of a sudden hate each other towards the end. Something went wrong. Something ain't right. But at the end of the day, maybe it's the spirit that's controlling them. Maybe they got caught up. Maybe they went to a place that they shouldn't have went. Maybe they've gone where they shouldn't have gone. Maybe they have got entangled, wrapped up, touched some things, allowed some things to get into their personal space, and they ended up taking it with them. And they ended up carrying it back home with them. And then it ends up sitting with them and making them do some things that they probably were not doing in the first place. When you start to realize that it's not the people, but it's the spirit behind them. When that happens, sometimes the only thing that you can do is just pray for people and say, listen, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and project my ugly off on you. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to go round and round, and I'm not going to argue with you. But I'm going to pray for you and leave it at that. And once you get up and take responsibility for yourself, and when you remove yourself out of the situation, you ain't controlling anything except for self. And then that gives that other person time to reflect and do some inventory on them, on their selves. And then hopefully they can turn it around without you forcing, without you cursing, without you arguing, without you pushing buttons, without you trying to make somebody do anything. Now, with that, we can talk about when being nice versus being nasty has worked in your favor. So, I don't know if you know, but it's kind of, I would say, I guess, I wouldn't say it's hard to be nasty. I think it's pretty easy for us to be nasty. Frown up, curse somebody out, not think twice about it. I mean, I guess it could go either way. If you're used to that, it can come off just so easy to just be nasty. But even though it's so easy to do that, it takes a lot of toll on you. And then that's where the hard part comes in, because if you're nasty to somebody, it's just so natural, right? This is just what I do. But the hard part comes, you can't just turn it off once that person's gone. 5 minutes later, you're still talking about how this person pissed you off. Oh, I showed them, I did this, I did that. That person is off somewhere minding their business, down the street, around the corner. If anything, they said what they had to say, they said their piece, and they're on with it. You're the one who's still sitting here talking about how this person upset you. You curse this person out. Oh, I can't calm myself down. Or, oh, I gotta calm myself down. That's the hard part, is when you keep talking about it and you let that sit inside of you. We already talked about that as well. That's the hard part. Now, on a flip side about it, is it hard to be nice to somebody, or is it easy to be nice? I'll give you my story real quick. On the other side, it was so easy for me to rip somebody's face off and tell them off. It was also very hard for me to let it go after that happened because I'm sitting here talking about it, pacing back and forth, thinking about it, trying to calm myself down after I've been through it. All those same things I just spoke about. When I decided to flip this thing around and realize, let me try something a little bit different. Let me try to be nice. I heard people talk about it. Let me try to kill them with kindness and see if that works. It's hard to bite your tongue when you're so used to just being reckless sometimes. So I could say that could be the hard part. But then, does it get so easy? Does it get so easy because practice makes perfect? And it gets so easy when you realize that, I could be so nice and so cool. And how about this? Get better results than I would have if I told you off. You mean to tell me that me being nasty, screaming, yelling at you, we made no movement, and if we did, it was very minimal, versus me being nice, shutting my mouth, not saying anything, and all of a sudden we are moving mountains and have a peaceful environment. So, do you have any examples of being nice versus being nasty? And I also want to touch base on this because I've heard this term before. Nice nasty. I don't like that. I never liked it. I've heard it. And I just can't stand to hear somebody say, I know how to be nice nasty. There are so many people in this world that are nice nasty, and you're stuck in the middle. You're trying to act like you're nice to somebody, but then in a roundabout way, you're still doing some backbiting, some backstabbing, some manipulative stuff. So be careful of the people out there who are nice, nasty, because then they're in the middle and you don't know whether you can trust them or not. You know anybody out there who's played the game of being nice, nasty? Because I know I have. And it ain't good. It ain't good when you're dealing with folks that are in the middle. You don't know whether you can trust them or not. Same people that smile in your face may be the same ones that are talking stuff behind your back. So, we're going to move on to this burning question tonight. How do you cope? When people make decisions about you and your life and your circumstances without checking in with you. Now, this often happens when people are in a relationship, people are married. It could even be work. All of a sudden, somebody just tells you what's going to happen without asking your input. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody has made a critical decision, an important decision, without checking with you first? Now, I think back. I've been in that situation and I've been on both sides. I've been in a situation where I have made decisions and decided to speak about them after the fact. Didn't care, could care less. I didn't care what the other person thought at the moment. I was just worried about what I had going on in my world. Made all kinds of decisions. Things that were financial, made them all by myself. Didn't even include the other party. But and while you're doing that, let me before I go on and move on. While you're sitting there making the decisions, that ego which we spoke about, that power trip kicks in, and you feel like you're on top of the world and you're doing it all big because you're able to make these decisions, these important decisions, knowing that you might be connected to somebody else and you didn't ask their input, you didn't care about it. But like I said, oh boy, because comes this thing called karma. It's going to flip around because what goes up must come down. And then I was on the other side. Just like this question here tonight. When people were making decisions about my world without even checking it with me and asking me, now I'm just dealing with it. Now, when it happened before, I didn't handle it properly. So I'm asking you, how do you cope when people make decisions about you and your world without checking and asking you your advice first? Your opinion. What do you think we should do? What would you like to do? How about that? So today, I don't allow that to happen. Jolie spoke the other night about having boundaries. So today, you don't get an opportunity to make decisions about me without asking me, because now I'm going to speak up because I realize the power that I have, and I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like. I hope that if you're listening out there, you're not somebody who will allow somebody to just make decisions about your world, about your life, about your circumstances without involving you. And if so, and if you feel like you're powerless, the only thing that I could say is to sit with self, think, shut out all of the noise, shut out all of the nonsense, cut out all of the drama, cut out all of the back and forth. And once you sit with self, you'll start to get a clearer vision, clear your mind, and you'll be able to get your power back and be able to make decisions about your own world. Because that's what I had to do. How do you cope? When people make decisions about you, about your world, about your circumstances, without checking in with you first. Quick reminders. I want to say thank you all for watching. If you watch this replay, please go ahead and drop it in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on a freestyle session tonight. Remember, you always can speak to me by texting 609-738-0611 on a freestyle sessions, and I can pull you up on a 411 hotline. We have Midnight Vibes this Saturday with Mr. Alex Coquito on his YouTube channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. We're going to have a great show tomorrow. I want to say thank you so much to Alex for allowing me to be a part of your platform and co-host with you. I believe we have done 20 shows so far, which it's crazy. It didn't even feel anything like it. Just having fun, just randomness, various topics that we speak about. Craziness. Alex Coquito on YouTube. Also want to say a very special thank you to Miss Lakeisha, Simply Unique LLC. That's her business. She has something called Scentful Sundays coming up this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yours truly will be there speaking with Miss Lakeisha. She gave us some wonderful gifts this week. I've been sampling them all week, and we're going to discuss them Sunday on Scentful Sundays on her Instagram channel at Simply Unique LLC. On that note, I would like to say thank you so much to everybody out there who has been checking me out, supporting me from all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, DLive, Twitch, Daily Motion. I appreciate you. You can get small clips of the show on TikTok and Daily Motion as well. Please check out the experience on YouTube at Laren Gaines. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I definitely would appreciate that. Now, if you would like to support the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines, please click that link above. All of those same social media platforms that I just said, all of them has a link above, and you can go inside of volume 1.5, Deliberation Remix Journal. This is a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. I am sharing with you some of the same things that I've been through. I spoke a little bit about tonight. I speak the truth each and every night. Also want to say very shout out to Mr. Amari from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for coming through as well and showing some love last night. But this volume 1.5 Deliberation Remix Journal, that's what it is. It's a journal, and I'm telling you a little bit about my past, telling you where I'm at right now here in the present moment. And I'm also speaking and writing some positive affirmations about my world and where I want to see myself. And I'll leave it open for you as well because this is a remix journal. So there's a bunch of space in this journal for you to go ahead and write the truth about yourself. And remember this, nobody gets the opportunity to tell you who you are. I tell you who I am. You don't get to tell me who I am. I've spent so many years listening to what you, and you said about me, what you thought about me, and what you predicted over my world. And I listened to them. Unfortunately, I listened to them a little bit too long, but I'm thankful that I got it together and I learned how to cut out all that noise. But I didn't like what you predicted about me. I didn't like what you said about me, and it was just absolutely false in my world. So I decided to flip it, and now I get to tell you who I am. And by doing that, I made whatever I saw a reality. And you can do the same thing. Volume 1.5, Deliberation Remix Journal. This is a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. Remember, it ain't easy, and the fight is never over. You have to continue to keep pressing on and pushing each and every day. We fall down sometimes, but if you wake up the next morning, you have another opportunity to get it together and keep pressing forward. That's it. I want to say thank you so much for joining tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow here, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the 411 podcast. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. Take care.